A police officer shoots himself to steal workers' comp money. Two scammers stuff a coffin with a mannequin and cow parts to invent a dead person for $1 million life insurance payout. An Armenian-American gang bilked Medicare out of $163 million in one of the largest Medicare scams ever by one criminal gang. These are among the extreme schemers elected to the Insurance Fraud Hall of Shame, sponsored by the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud. Jim Quiggle, Director of Communications for the Coalition, describes this year's most dubious member.
William Craig Miller was having financial problems, so he burned down his large Scarsdale, Alabama house for insurance money. He'd hired his handyman who was going to testify against him. Miller panics. He sneaks into the house where the handyman and his girlfriend were living and shoots them both with a handgun. Only problem is there were 3 kids in the house, so they had to go too because they are witnesses to the murder. So anyway, he received life in prison. Even his own lawyer admitted that Miller was a stone-cold killer.
Quiggle explains that the point of coming out with this list is that insurance fraud steals a minimum of $80 billion a year.
It's a very damaging crime, but many people also have a hard time relating to large numbers that big. They also tend to see insurance fraud as a white-collar crime, maybe a harmless prank. They don't really understand how damaging to society this crime really is. So what we're doing with the Hall of Shame is making insurance fraud come alive.
As for what types of insurance see the most fraud, Quiggle says there is a clear-cut winner, or perhaps in this case, loser.
The biggest action is in healthcare fraud by far. Health schemes dwarf all other forms of insurance fraud by several degrees of magnitude. The billions of dollars of insurance money that is stolen is just astronomical.
As for what the coalition is doing to combat insurance fraud, Quiggle says the organization is helping to unite the fraud fight.
Our membership gives us a great deal of credibility because we represent not only insurance companies but also consumer groups and government agencies. We have a great deal of credibility with this balance when we talk to reporters about fraud schemes, when we testify in front of legislatures, and this is both state and federal.
Quiggle says the fight against auto insurance fraud on the state level will be at the top of the coalition's agenda in 2012. You can find complete details on this story at news.ambest.com.